Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion aftereffect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book Hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Kee writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Strap in, because today we're diving headfirst into a world where myths and legends aren't just whispered tales, they're very real, breathing entities.
Yeah, and ancient magic is clashing against some really modern, pretty insidious evils.
Our deep dive today is right into the heart of the Draoithe Saga. We're looking specifically at the third volume of the Lionsgate miniseries.
There's one called Ghostly Kingdom by Ophelia Kee.
And what makes this deep dive, I think, particularly fascinating is how the source material, and we've got excerpts here, it just masterfully blends, steamy paranormal romance.
Right, with this raw magical realism and some really gritty urban fantasy elements.
Yeah, definitely. And we should mention this one's really intended for a mature audience. You've got adult themes, fantasy violence, and some pretty explicit sexual situations, so fair warning there.
Absolutely. So our mission today is basically to pull out the most crucial insights from this incredibly intricate world.
We want to give you kind of a shortcut, right, to understanding its unique lore, these complex characters.
And the central conflict that really drives the story, and hopefully uncover some genuinely surprising truths hidden in those pages.
Exactly. We'll lay out the foundation, the Draoithe world itself, then zoom into the specific story of Ghostly Kingdom.
And then we'll really dissect the fascinating magical systems and, what makes these characters tick, their motivations.
Okay, so let's pull back that veil. Let's invite you into the dream, the very fabric of this world they call Draoithe.
Right. The core concept here isn't just like a physical place. It's an entire reality set within this larger interconnected dream.
Think of it like a living tapestry, yeah, where, as the book says, myths, legends, and fairy tales walk among the strange and wonderful.
And the grand purpose of this whole construct, it's all about aiding in this epic fight to restore magical balance, across this vast, interwoven dreamscape.
It's a huge scale.
It really is. The Draoithe Saga itself is framed as this long story of heroic achievement. It traces the founding of an immortal kingdom
within one of the dream's 9 realms, specifically the Lean Deal, which is kind of their version of Earth, right?
Yeah, exactly. And its whole purpose is to stand against those who are actively unbalancing magic, the ones posing a threat to the entire dream.
It's interesting, though, how the author grounds all this high fantasy. The main setting for a lot of it is this eerily familiar yet magical realist Tyler, Texas.
Yeah, it's a specific choice. And as the story expands, you see other kingdoms from different parts of the dream start interacting with this core druid pack there.
And Ghostly Kingdom, the book we're focusing on, it zeroes in on a particularly dark corner of this world.
Right, it's the third in the Lionsgate miniseries, and it really sets the stage for this dramatic collision between a, quote, twisted druid king and a little demon.
And it shows how these powerful magical forces and even ancient prophecy are conspiring to, bring their fates together.
Yeah, the deeper insight there is seeing how destinies that seem totally separate are actually threads in this much larger ancient weave. It's quite intricate.
It's a powerful setup. Okay, let's meet the 2 central figures caught up in all this. First up, Laszlo Grayson.
Right, multimillionaire CEO, Grayson Advertising in Chicago. Seems straightforward on the surface.
Yeah, master of the corporate world. But underneath, well, he's descended from this ancient line of Irish kings. He owns family ruins back there.
And he's been sort of dabbling and researching his past, But there's also this constant dark side, heavily pressing him toward twisted inclinations.
Always pushing him, searching for something different, something forbidden. That's how the book puts it.
Then you have Soraya Heffernan, and she's initially just such a tragic figure.
An orphan, right, trapped in this awful boarding house, basically a pawn in this guy Peter Elliott schemes.
Yeah, horrific schemes. She's desperate to escape a really terrible fate, so she signs away her life, essentially as a slave to Laszlo.
And then falls in love with him. The text actually calls her a little demon meant for a king.
Which is just wow. The tragic irony is that her first taste of freedom comes from signing her life away. It really hints at the complex, often dark definitions of agency in this world.
Definitely complex. So the catalyst that throws them into the whole Draoithe world, it's absolutely pivotal.
It is. Soraya has this harrowing escape from Peter Elliott's clutches. Meanwhile, Laszlo, he thinks she just left him willingly.
Right, so he's consumed by despair. And what he doesn't realize is that he's unknowingly used arcane magic with her.
Which sends his own life just spiraling wildly out of control. Then comes the turning point. Laszlo's found after this horrific accident.
Dying, paralyzed from the neck down. That's brutal.
It is, and this is where Eli Miller steps in. She's the formidable tiger queen of Draoithe.
And to save them both, she makes this extraordinary decision. She turns Laszlo into a Barbary lion.
And Soraya into a clouded leopard. It's a drastic measure.
Wow.
Yeah, and the key takeaway from this forced transformation isn't just the magic itself, it's the brutal irony. You know, salvation from one kind of paralysis leads straight into this profound, maybe even twisted dependency.
It shows how power, even for someone supposedly destined to be a king, often comes with these severe limitations.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Now that they're irrevocably pulled into this magical reality, we need to understand the rules.
Right, the fundamentals. So once they're transformed, shifters become, well, stronger, faster, more powerful.
Exponentially so. Heightened senses, distinct animal attributes, the whole package. But there are strict rules.
Like what?
Well, shifters rarely turn anyone except their fated life mate. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Also, they physically cannot gain weight.
Huh. Weird detail.
It is. And there's a strict ban on turning children or the elderly. It's a power that comes with some very serious responsibility and limitations.
Gotcha. And the world also has these born druid kings, like Laszlo turns out to be.
Right. These guys possess immense powerful magic, but it comes at a heavy price. Often manifests as these twisted, strange appetites.
And they wield black and purple flames. That sounds intense.
It is. And other abilities too: alchemy, Cedra, Veritas spells, even necromancy.
Yeah.
But what's really crucial for their balance is that actually using their magic helps ease the pressure from the darker side.
Ah, okay. So the power is both a gift and a curse, sort of. Magic isn't just an ability, it's like a release valve.
Precisely. It suggests this constant internal struggle that really defines who they are.
And then there are the little demons, like Soraya. Their history, you mentioned it was dark.
Incredibly dark. And it profoundly shapes their identity. They were originally slave women, altered by incubus demons.
Altered?
Yeah, crafted as a solution, quote unquote, for the early druid king's specific needs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they crave sex for energy, which, as you can imagine, leaves them incredibly vulnerable to abuse and exploitation.
That dark origin just fundamentally redefines things like agency and consent within their magical bonds, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It pushes the boundaries of what romance or relationship can even mean in this kind of high-stakes fantasy world. It's challenging.
Yeah, truly challenging. And this world has the concept of a singular life mate for shifters.
Yes, destined for one specific person. And the bonding process is paramount. It requires this combination of sex, shared climax, direct gaze.
And something about a shadow entering the mind. What's that?
It sounds like a literal spiritual connection. It intertwines their subconscious minds, merging their very essence. It goes way beyond just physical intimacy.
And shared emotions, location.
Right, and the consequence if they don't find their life mate, it's dire. The shifter will literally fade away within about 100 years.
Wow, that really underscores the intense, fated, maybe even desperate connections driving these stories.
Absolutely. And just quickly, the structure of the dream itself, it's vast. It comprises 9 realms on 3 levels.
Okay, so levels like heaven, earth, hell.
Kind of. They call them the Dingleen, which is like heaven, the Leany Deal, which is earth, and the Netherworld, which functions as hell or Hades.
And they're all connected.
Intricately connected and bound together by magic. A truly interconnected cosmic system.
Okay, that sets the stage beautifully. Now, let's shift focus. The enemy, Peter Elliott.
Right. Initially, Laszlo just saw him as, a personal nemesis.
Someone who stole from him, was maybe connected to Soraya's past as her boarding school director, seemed almost mundane compared to all this magic.
Exactly. But the real twist, oh boy, when Elliot's true nature is unveiled, it's far, far more sinister.
How so?
We learn he's not just some shady businessman, he's an immortal bear shifter.
An immortal, okay.
And he runs a global network of these girls' boarding schools, not just the one in Chicago.
Global.
Yeah.
What's he doing in them?
His operations involve kidnapping immortals and young women, performing horrific illegal experiments on them.
Oh my God.
Training girls as high-end escorts, prostituting them, torturing them to try and reveal their latent gifts.
That's monstrous.
It is. And what's truly shocking, the real kicker, is that his actions were so vile, they directly led to Eli and Luke building Draoithe as a sanctuary in the first place.
How?
Because Elliot's men once brutally tortured Eli herself.
No way.
Yeah. So the insight here is Elliot isn't just a villain. He's the systematic, historical evil that was basically the catalyst for Draoithe's entire existence.
That revelation must have just utterly intensified Laszlo's fury.
Oh, completely. He realizes Elliot orchestrated everything, cynically used Laszlo himself as a tool just to get control over Soraya.
So his earlier, unknowingly magical beating of Elliot, now it feels justified, but on a whole new level.
Exactly. It fuels his vengeance that now has a much, much broader scope. It's not just personal anymore.
This huge shift pushes Laszlo towards, alliance and maybe atonement.
Yeah, definitely. He fully embraces his new identity as a Ghost King, the Riard de Types of Lionsgate.
Yeah.
He realizes his original family line actually fled and left the castle in ruins. They abandoned their duty.
So this gives him a new purpose.
A profound new purpose. It leads him to swear fealty to Luke and Draoithe. He recognizes it's the essential move, not just for his own protection, but for a chance to fight back against this global evil.
So his personal quest for vengeance kind of transforms, becomes part of something much bigger.
Precisely. He finds purpose through this profound alliance. And this is also when we meet a really unique character.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Truth. His actual name is Lamont Layan, and he's the first Dragon Maester.
Dragon Maester, like this.
Yeah, he's an astounding 857 years old, originally crafted by necromancers.
Crafted? Whoa!
And he shows up with this ancient oath to protect Laszlo's lineage. He desires to serve Laszlo as his Dragon Knight.
That's incredible. Talk about ancient loyalties.
Right, and Truth's own past is just as complex. We learn he once claimed a Viking princess, Serenity, as his slave and Valkyrie.
His slave. Okay, that shows those intense, possessive, maybe ethically challenging bonds you mentioned earlier.
Definitely. His willingness to now serve Laszlo, though, it underscores these deep-seated loyalties tied to ancient bloodlines and magic. It highlights how destiny and allegiance can kind of override modern sensibilities in this world.
So with all these revelations, all these new alliances, Laszlo now has a crystal clear mission, right?
Absolutely. As a Ghost King and now a spy for Draoithe back in Chicago.
He plans to use his advertising skills, which is kind of brilliant for Draoithe's retreat.
And even more crucially, systematically eliminate Elliot's boarding schools.
Yeah.
He literally vows to make them disappear in flames.
Intense. And his time away in Draoithe, learning all this, becoming a lion, how does he cover that up?
It's truly disguised as rehab. Helps him maintain his cover back in the human world.
Smart. Okay, now, let's get to the heart of it all. That profoundly complex bond between Laszlo and Soraya.
Right, because when they're finally reunited, Laszlo is initially just consumed by blinding anger. He feels betrayed.
Because he still believes her earlier lies.
Yeah.
That she left him willingly.
Exactly. He bought the lies she was forced to tell. But the real turning point, the moment everything just shifts, is when Eli, the Tiger Queen, she orchestrates showing Laszlo this chilling video footage. Footage of Soraya's brutal torture and beatings at Elliot's hands.
Oh man, that must have been gut-wrenching.
It completely redefines their entire dynamic.
That's his aha moment, isn't it? He sees her suffering.
He witnesses her crying out his name, professing her love for him, enduring immense suffering, all for his sake.
And he finally gets it. She was drugged, kidnapped, forced to lie.
Exactly. And this realization sparks this profound, just crushing guilt in him. He grasps that he himself unknowingly destroyed her by training her in a way to accept his dark needs and then abandoning her when she was at her absolute most vulnerable.
Wow. The insight there is how betrayal, even when it's based on deception, can inflict such deep, lasting damage. There's a tragic irony in their fated connection.
Definitely. So with the unvarnished truth out, Laszlo fully accepts his responsibility and his deep, undeniable love for Soraya.
And he learns something crucial about her nature too, right?
Yes. He learns she literally cannot function without a master. and that an unbonded king, like he is at that point, is considered unbalanced and unreliable in their world.
So he makes this fierce commitment.
To reclaim her and permanently bond with her, he states it unequivocally. You'll never be free. I'll always be your master.
And how does she react to that?
The source says she receives this with sad relief, because ultimately, belonging to Laszlo was all she wanted.
Okay, that relationship dynamic, the explicit master thing, it really presents a challenging perspective on consent and agency, doesn't it? Even in a fantasy world.
It absolutely does. How does the narrative handle that complexity without just, excusing it or presenting the darker implications without some critical distance? It's a key question the reader has to grapple with.
Yeah, it forces you to ask what safety and freedom even mean in this context.
Exactly. Their eventual union is described as brutal, yet deeply desired. It's a fusion that goes beyond the physical.
Their souls fuse.
That's how it's put. And through it, Soraya feels finally safe and complete, somehow absorbing his darkness.
And Laszlo admits he needed her too much.
Yeah. The core insight seems to be that their bond, while definitely born of trauma and this dark necessity, represents a unique form of completeness for them. Their individual brokenness finds this strange shared healing.
Okay, so as Laszlo's new mission takes shape, he starts laying the groundwork for his own kingdom, Lionsgate.
Right. He evaluates other rescued Greffins, Jacques and Edouard,
and finds they're even more traumatized and conditioned than Soraya was.
Which just underscores the vast, horrific scale of Elliot's cruelty and the monumental task Laszlo has ahead of him.
But Eli, the Tiger Queen, she's always thinking strategically.
Always. She proposes this brilliant solution, using gazelle princesses as light hosts and warriors to help these traumatized Greffins heal.
Her vision is clear. Establish Lionsgate as this secret, smaller yet balanced magical kingdom right there in Chicago, a strategic outpost for Draoithe.
And the new team comes together pretty quickly. Simon and Roman, two powerful wizards, they volunteer as spies.
Creating this crucial multi-allied backup network for Laszlo. He's not going it alone.
Exactly. The insight there is the power of strategic alliances, in recognizing you need diverse strengths to fight a systemic evil like Elliot.
And Eli explains how all their work pairing immortals, correcting these magical imbalances, it effectively extends Draoithe's influence.
Creating what she calls a balanced magic quilt that spreads across the entire dream. It's not just about one battle, it's this vast, intricate network of magical restoration.
Wow. And Laszlo, he fully embraces it all.
He does. Fully transformed, fully committed. He accepts his role as Riard Typesy, his eternal mission, and Soraya as his queen.
Ready to operate under the radar to deal with Elliot.
Knowing that while, his life had changed drastically, paradoxically, it had never been better, it shows his ultimate acceptance of his true nature and destiny.
What an incredible deep dive we've had into Ghostly Kingdom. Just peeling back the layers. Complex themes of magic, power, loyalty, destiny.
All intricately woven into this unique and often, brutally beautiful love story of Laszlo and Soraya.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How this narrative explores the unexpected ways that personal trauma, inherent power, and these fated connections can intersect.
And ultimately reveal a path to purpose, maybe even a sense of belonging for these deeply flawed but still really compelling characters.
Yeah, this story kind of challenges us, I think, to see that even in a world brimming with ancient magic and fated destinies,
the most profound transformations often stem from confronting your deepest shame and embracing the very connections you once feared.
It makes you wonder, what hidden kingdoms or unforeseen destinies might be waiting for you when you fully embrace your own complex, perhaps even challenging nature.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakee.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely. Okay.